Good day, liberators and fellow South Africans. During the past week, I've uploaded a very important video called Beware Unvaccinated Employees Do Not Approach the CCMA. I have in fact referenced to authority, to legislation and to court cases and highlighted it specifically in my video for you to read and for you to go and determine for yourself whether that is a fact or not. So the whole idea of Liberty Fighters Network with these videos that we are making is that we are giving you alternative information which is not the normal narrative, so that you can go and compare the two options with one another. However, out of the blue and totally unexpected, a man by the name of Schalk van der Merwe, who proclaims to be a labor law expert, have published a voice recording totally lambasting me. He ends and say that I should not tread in waters I do not know, and he says that I am no labor law or a legal expert and I am misadvising the people. And I have apparently created a lot of damage, and he asked or somewhat begged the people to please send it all over the show so that people don't listen to what I am saying. This is typically controlled opposition, people. This is what controlled opposition is doing. The moment when someone is putting information before people which is totally different than the mainstream narrative, they are being lambasted. They are being ridiculed and said that they don't know what they are talking about. They are conspiracy theorists. Oh, be careful. So this is exactly what Schalk van der Merwe did, and I honestly did not expect it from someone of his stature. Instead of coming to me to say, Reyno, you are setting the pot really miss. You need, let me explain to you. And if his argument is satisfying, which I have heard numerous of times, I need to add, before, not only from him, but from many other people as well, and I had the right to have my own opinion of what to do. So if Schalk van der Merwe really was of the view that his approach by going to the CCMA with all these cases is the best option, let him explain himself and put the proof to the people, so that the people can decide what is right and what is not. Schalk, I'm not going to suddenly say that, oh, you are right, because I don't believe in your argument, sorry to say, and I've got the right to not choose to support your argument. If people decide to follow that argument of Schalk van der Merwe, let them be. It's their democratic right to do that. But don't come here, Schalk van der Merwe, like a typical controlled opposition, to lambast me and say that I don't know what I'm talking about. This is typical. The problem of the legal fraternity in this country, people, of which Schalk van der Merwe is a member of. He started out his career way back in the early 2000s as a public protector. He advanced to a state advocate, and later he became even a member of CSA. He worked for CSA, the labor law consultancy firm, which is the very problem we are experiencing today. Because they are the ones who are actively advocating that these mandatory vaccination policies are legal. They are very large, if not the biggest, labor law consultancy firm in South Africa, and all these large companies subscribe to them. So they are the advisors, but he worked for them before, people. Whether he left because he had a struggle with the management or whatever the case may be, but unfortunately, later on, he also even became a commissioner at the CCMA. He has been programmed in a way that he believes in what he's doing. But don't put your beliefs, don't force it upon the others who don't agree with you, Schalk van der Merwe. Don't do that. As I've said, that is exactly what controlled opposition is doing. So who gives you the right to tell me that I am no legal expert because I don't have the diploma against my wall like you do? You know what, Schalk van der Merwe? The best minds in history never went to university. Universities were created because of those great minds who never went to universities. So who the hell are you to tell me that I don't know after I've even showed the proof that I don't know what I'm talking about? So instead of unifying, no, that's the incorrect word, because instead of going after the actual culprits, Schalk van der Merwe chose to attack the very people who are also attacking the same people he is claiming to be against. Yes, I am extremely angry because I never expected it to happen and occur by someone that I also thought would never have done it, Schalk van der Merwe. Schalk van der Merwe has got this massive social media following. I think his Telegram group has got 20,000 people, comparing to Liberty Fighters Network only less than 4,000 people. You know what? If you go and look at Telegram of Liberty Fighters Network, I don't post that often. I don't have the time to post on all social media so that everyone can hear what Liberty Fighters Network is doing. While people like Schalk is on social media and telling the whole world how great they are, I, in fact, is helping individuals. We've got hundreds of people that we are individually looking after without expecting anything in return. Liberty Fighters Network does not ask or expect anything in return for what we are doing to the people, for the people to fight the fight. Schalk van der Merwe, Liberty Fighters Network, while you are keyboard warrioring, Liberty Fighters Network is the only organization in the world who have followed all the local processes against their lockdown measures and regulations and have escalated it to an international forum called the African Union, the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, since October 2021. Since then, since October last year, the African Commission, the African Union has become part of our fight. You are still believing and advocating essentially that these mandatory vaccination policies can be made because you don't go and attack the policy, the legitimacy of these policies. We are doing it because we've got a court order we still believe is in fact intact, and have null and made all these regulations, which this so-called consolidated direction of the 11th of June 2021 is based on, are no longer there. But our government does not want to accept it. Hence the reason why this matter is now an international fight. Let me just highlight a couple of important factors. Number one, Schalk said that in 2 minutes in his voice recording, he made the remark that he himself have referred matters to or people to the South African Human Rights Commission above others. People, if you have followed us, we said that don't go to the South African Human Rights Commission because they have been compromised. The CEO of the South African Human Rights Commission is Advocate Taliso Tipenyane, who is a member of the Advisory Council of CABLZAJJ, the Council for the Advancement of the South African Constitution. We said that that is the mouthpiece of Cyril Ramaphosa, our president. His very wife, the First Lady, Tsepo Motsepe, is part and parcel of their advisory group as well, consisting out of numerous other very influential people. Interesting enough, another member of this CABLZAJJ, of which Mr. Tipenyane is a member of, is Advocate Jacobi, who is currently also one of the appeals board members of Curro Holdings. Curro Holdings is a national school, private school group who have implemented mandatory COVID-19 vaccination policies as well. And interesting enough, on their very board of directors, the younger brother, Douglas Ramaphosa, of Cyril Ramaphosa, is also a member of the board of directors. So you can see this link to Cyril Ramaphosa, to the narrative that is going on. Ramaphosa is behind this, people. He's not the good guy. He's the one who has been pushing these filthy plans to get rid of our liberties and our human rights. People, then he says that I'm of the view that that there's only these 2 cases that I referred to before the CCMA. Well, there are hundreds. I never said that in our video. I never said that there was only 2 cases. I specifically made mention that these 2 cases have made havoc because of the mainstream media that have been publishing it all over the show. And I have said that it's much better to go to the Equality Court. Don't go to the CCMA. And I've said my reasons. Go and watch the video, Schalk van der Merwe, because it appears that you did not watch this video. It appears as if you've just made these statements which are totally fallacious, totally misleading, and you impulsively made a video, a voice recording, to lambast Liberty Fighters Network and myself. People, yes. Oh, and then obviously the fact of, well, I don't know what I'm talking about. People, I don't want to to put myself in the limelight and make as if I'm the best there is, like Schalk van der Merwe is currently doing. It's not a competition to see who's lifting his leg the highest. This is a process where certain people are actually fighting the fight against what is going on in our country. There's no popularity contest, Schalk van der Merwe. I don't care how I look. I've been criticized by the fact that I used to stay in a garage with my family and that I'm a pauper. So bloody what? What makes you much better than I am? It's just unfortunate that it had to come to this point where people who are supposed to fight in the same direction are now taking one another out. Schalk van der Merwe, I've said this before and I reiterate it. If you've got an issue with me and Liberty Fighters Network, kindly do as your colleague, the attorney Yusuf Ishmael did before on Loving Life. Go and choose a forum of your preference and let us debate it one-to-one, and then the public can decide whose version is the best, taking into mind that each one is unique. If we believe that the equality court route is the best and only option, go and put your argument that the CCMA is the best option to the people. Let them decide whether they want to use your argument or ours. It's their democratic right. And very importantly, why don't I like the CCMA? I truly believe that the CCMA has been put in place to benefit the employer. If the CCMA, which stands for Commission on Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration, the name itself says that it's utilizing alternative dispute resolution processes. Alternative dispute or ADR processes, alternative dispute resolution processes, are final and cannot be appealed. That's the end of the line for you, and I have highlighted in this so-called infamous video of mine why there can only be two ways in which you can actually challenge such an award by a commissioner. But as Schalk has also indicated, many or most of these processes through the CCMA end in a settlement. The moment when you've got a settlement and you agree to only utilize or to accept the offer of your employer, and in most of those circumstances the employee is very much in an uncomfortable position whereby he's forced to actually accept that because he's in the position that he has been fired. He doesn't receive his income. He will not have an income for probably many months until he finds another work, if he is happy or lucky. And so they are sort of forced to accept the mediocre settlement. I will explain again in much better detail why we don't follow these the CCMA route. The purpose of this is to tell people to please send this video as far as wide as possible to other people. Do not listen to Schalk van der Merwe. To specifically refer them to our video, and let Schalk make his own video why he believes the CCMA is the correct one. The people have now been deprived of other options. And unfortunately, this have drawn a line in the sand for me and Liberty Fighters Network against Schalk van der Merwe. Schalk, you are controlled opposition for us. So the very fact that you are forcing people to only go the CCMA route, which we have numerous of arguments to say that you must not take that route. I don't care whether Liberty Fighters Network are now going to lose a lot of supporters. I am concerned about our individual members who we are now assisting, fighting this evil of mandatory vaccination policies. I am concerned about the future of my daughters in particular. If I don't fight the fight as I am doing now, my daughters will not have a future. And then probably the most important thing of all, I'm fighting this as a religious fight. My religion as a Christian do not subscribe to these vaccinations that are currently going on. I'm not going to preach to you. If you are a Christian, my opinion is that you are doing damage to our religion and to your own faith if you subscribe to this crap of forced vaccinations. People, if you like this, share this video, like it, and also we have now membership to this channel for members who choose to have something more than just the usual. For a small amount every month, you can receive some more benefits, and also in the process you are assisting us fighting this fight.